Hello everyone, and welcome back to FilmBook Review, an official YouTube channel of FilmBook. Featured in Google News, IMDb's news desk, and a member of the Critics' Choice Association, FilmBook is an entertainment industry news website that reports on the film and television show industries in the United States and across the world. Today on FilmBook Review, I'll be reviewing Outlander, the first episode of the 7th season I screened at the 2023 Tribeca Film Festival. Outlander Episode 1 is directed by Lisa Clark and written by Danielle Barrow. It stars Sam Heughan, Catriona Balfe, Richard Rankin, Sophie Skelton, Tobias Menzies, Lauren Lyle, John Bell. This is an Outlander review, and there will be spoilers. If you like our reviews, please like this Outlander review as it helps us out with YouTube's algorithm, and please consider subscribing. Once subscribed, click the bell notification box and you're all set. Please consider becoming one of our patrons on Patreon at patreon.com/filmbook. And now, the Outlander Episode 1 Season 7 review. Buckle up and bring your tissues, because it seems like this season of Outlander will be packed with emotional drama and also historical and book drama. Audiences should expect to pick up their books for reference this season. The costumes, the sets, and history don't seem to disappoint as the show creeps into the Revolutionary War time. And we're going to welcome some new faces as well. Episode 1 was titled A Life Well Lost, and it picks up where Season 6 left off. Claire's in jail, and Jamie is racing to find her, and someone is ready to die to save her. The episode starts with a shot of Claire's boots taking slow steps, skirt kissing the gallows wooden platform. The camera cuts between her frightened face and the expected Wilmington crowd, reminiscing of the Season 4 opener. The scene is slowed down a bit, though, just dramatic enough when we see the arms of the executioner begin to push Claire off the edge. The camera moves to her reluctant, struggling feet again, but before we know it, she's lost the struggle and pushed over the edge. Brilliant cinematography work in this episode. We get a voiceover, though, and Jamie is speaking his thoughts, maybe his prayers for Claire. His stern face appears on the screen, quickly revealing that this has been a figment of his worst imagination, and he's waiting for Ian to give a drink to the horses on the way to rescue Claire. It's a beautifully written way to bleed into a new season, because they weave in Season 6 into the beginning of Season 7 in a beautiful way. Stressed out, this is where Sam really shows his expressions, and they're top-notch. You know, we see how stressed out he is, and we haven't even gotten to the intro credits yet. That's how dynamic Episode 1 is. The audience actually sang the intro song during the intro, which was pretty cool. The first scene plays out closely to the book's version of Claire's introduction to her cellmate, Sadie. There's lots of, comedy, and there's a little bit of awkwardness, too. And really, be prepared to pick up your book, because a lot of this is really rooted deeply in the text. From the beginning, we're reminded just how far the rumors of Claire's crimes have spread. There's a scene where Mrs. Tulliver is tasked with the protection of Mrs. Fraser, who, arrives famished, and she's quickly mistaken for a murderess. We also really see how chaotic things are between the British Army and the rebels in town. Claire's called to help the Governor Martin's wife as she's in need of a healer. And this is where we finally see the governor's ship, the cruiser. The cinematography of the episode is just gorgeous. We see Claire help the governor's wife, which is really cool to see, a true moment for her as the healer. Donner's face, when we see him, we see him amongst the crew, and he looks almost unrecognizable. Maybe it's just the amount of time that's gone by since we saw him on screen. But something from seeing Donner resonates with Roger. Bree realizes a bit later that he intends to help Donner and has a tense but very surprising argument with him. I won't go over the actual dialogue of the argument, but they both swiftly resolve the argument in a very earnest way, and the scene is handled cinematographically very beautifully and delicately. But you're probably wondering, where is Jamie and Ian, right? They get to Wilmington only to find that Claire has just been taken to the ship. And we hear of an encounter with the governor and a familiar face, the Donald, son of Donald, a.k.a. Donald McDonald from Season 6. And there's great acting here. And then the cinematography, again, is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to describe something that the crowd at the premiere went wild over. It's a brilliant adaptation from the book. Claire is allowed to send a letter to the mainland for fetching supplies for the journey with the Martins, who at any minute will have to sail away from the unrest in the town and the rest of the province. This letter reaches none other than Mr. Tom Christie of Christaville, who's very depressed. He gets the letter from Claire listing the ingredients needed, which among them are vermousse, meaning my husband in Latin. Tom visibly goes from elated to crushed while reading this, and the crowd just went absolutely insane. And it was just a really cool moment to know that I was a part of a room where people cared about a story so much. There were groans in the auditorium where we would see CGI fog. That would probably be the one criticism of the episode, is the fog was really artificial looking, and it kind of took away from the episode a little bit. But that's just an aside of one negative in a huge positive experience in seeing the first episode of season 7 in Outlander. The writers, cleverly raise the stakes as the episode bleeds about Jamie and Martin's conversation about letting Claire go. And we're back to the intensity of the revolution here, as well as worrying for how on earth Jamie was going to, get out of this. The drama and the anticipation that was building in the room was really, really, really cool, and it was filled with fans. The room was filled with fans. And if you're a fan of Outlander, again, just be prepared to be picking up your book a lot, because the references are real, they're detailed, they're deep, and they're going to be many. The biggest part of the panel after the episode was kind of a mess, but the one thing that they wanted to drive home was how rich they wanted to make this season, and they are already renewed for next season. But be prepared to reference your book a lot, and I think that that's a great thing for the writers and the people behind Outlander to really be telling fans, especially at a premiere like this. So it was an amazing experience, and fantastic performances by the actors and the cinematography, the writing. I can't wait to go back and watch Outlander now, because I'm excited for season 7. So if you're a fan of Outlander and you're excited for season 7, be prepared and bring your tissues, and don't forget your book for the premiere. And this brings us to the conclusion of this Outlander review. I would love to hear your thoughts on it below in the comment section. If you liked what you heard during this review, please like this video and please subscribe to this channel. Please also visit and subscribe to our podcast channel at FilmBook Podcast, and our trailer and reaction channel at FilmBook Trailers. Thank you for viewing, and you can watch one of these reviews next.